Awesome.
My English is on fire tonight, isn't it?
Quite like that works.
If you've done something quite serious like that, I imagine...
You ain't got no vote.
Yeah, you lose your rights. Right. But I don't know. It raises a good question. We should Google that and find out. But
we should, but...
Let's not. Let's not.
Let's
Speaking of things I found on the computer...
Yeah?
God,
it's not my computer, is it? That's worrying.
It's not. No, my eyes fell out after I looked at your computer. Good God, man. I found my favourite story of the week. And it's almost linked in with a story which many people will know from a couple of weeks ago. But my favourite story this week, and as many people do, I basically now get all of my knowledge from the homepage of Microsoft.
Yeah.
When I switch my computer on, before I go to my emails, it's like 8 little lines, and it usually has something about Jordan, something about a Spice Girl,
something about
Spice Girl,
the latest Microsoft product,
something about Cheryl Cole, Simon Cowell's in there somewhere, download Internet Explorer, and then a news story, which is always a bit ridiculous. And this week, I'll read you the headline before I tell you anything more. The headline says, "Man's alien claim grounds flight."
Brilliant.
How could you not read that story?
How could I have missed that?
Anybody not to read that story, and if you read it, you'll be with me and going, what? What does that mean? Does that mean they had to land because he saw an alien? Oh no.
Did he claim to be an alien?
Well, this is it. There's a SkyWest Airlines flight in America from Montana to Salt Lake City. Always a hotbed of the nutters anyway.
That whole area, yeah.
Brilliant, which is a place I need to visit just to see how mental it is.
Yeah.
It was diverted to Idaho Falls after a passenger began banging on the cockpit door saying he was a space alien and wanted to fly the plane. How the fuck do you deal with that?
Specific, a space alien?
Yeah, space alien.
Not a water alien.
No, not one of those crazy ones that lives on Earth.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Otherwise known as dogs.
Yeah. But he claimed he was a space alien and wanted to fly the plane.
Fantastic.
That's ridiculous in itself.
Yeah.
But the things he was actually charged with are even better. Police, I'll read you the official story. Police Sergeant Phil Grimes, I love the fact that his name's Phil, not Philip. Police Sergeant Grimes, Phil.
Phil Grimes!
I suspect he was a hired, an elected sergeant type, you know, like they do in America, in small towns, they just elect, he'll do.
Yeah, my dad was sheriff, he gave me a gun.
I got me a gun, it's all good. He said other passengers on the flight helped to restrain the 32-year-old from Vegas.
Ah, here we go.
Now, of course he was from Vegas.
Of course.
Which is a place I've never been, but I really think I'd like.
Really?
But not in the way that everybody else does. I think I'd really enjoy going around in the daytime, sort of looking at it and seeing how sort of dilapidated it actually is.
You wouldn't gamble. You wouldn't go for the gamble. You just go
and
check out this.
I think it's a place I'd really enjoy.
Yeah.
If I didn't go in a casino.
Yeah.
I suspect if I went in a casino, I'd be dead in about 14 minutes. I would sort of kidneys and all sorts of things. So I don't do those sort of things.
Stephen, is he a gambling?
Yeah, I stay away from such things. But yeah, I suspect I really like Vegas.
Yeah.
Purely because people like this come from it.
Yeah.
People who claim they're aliens and want to fly planes, and people who, you know, start cults and things always end up coming from Vegas.
That's true, yeah.
Because have you ever seen the TV show Las Vegas?
No.
It's very glossy, very trashy, but loads of fun. But it deals with the people who actually live there and all the shit that they deal with. Because you get all sorts of idiots. You know, everybody's seen The Hangover and stuff like that. Where people go to Vegas for the weekend and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I've always wondered what it's like to be one of those people who comes in and goes, freaks, and has to clean up after them.
Yeah.
Or actually, you know, lives off the strip. Because it's the sort of town that I'd really like to just see. I suspect there's nothing else there other than it just being a little small town off the strip. There's probably a 7-Eleven and a supermarket and some local pubs that nobody ever goes to. It's all strippers and lights.
All strippers and lights.
There's an name for an autobiography.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Strippers
or at least a sort of subsection chapter or something.
Definitely. But yeah, Vegas. This guy was from Vegas. You know, that's as much detail as we get. But he was charged with misdemeanor counts of disturbing the peace, resisting arrest, and a felony count of battery of an officer.
Right.
Which I suspect means he banged on the door, which disturbed the pilot's peace. He resisted arrest because he went, no, I'm an alien, I'm going to fly the plane. And the what do they call them, flight attendants, went, no you're not, tagged and bagged him. So that's knowing all I know about things like that from Con Air, where they fasten guys together, stick gag him and put a bag on his head and sat him down.
Do they do that to all passengers in this airline? That's quite a unique airline.
So they were Vegas bound, so yeah, quite possibly. And then, yeah, a felony of battery of an officer, which I suspect means he just went, no, no, and pushed him away. No, I'm going to fly the plane. And pushed him away.
That's
And they've
all
charged him with
speak, isn't it?
all of those
that
things.
probably happened within about 5 seconds.
Yeah. And a felony is a big deal.
Yeah.
A felony is a hardcore crime. 3 felonies, you stay in life for prison.
Hmm.
Stay in life for prison? Stay in prison for life.
No, stay in life.
Yeah, stay in life.
Hey, stay around for prison.
It's in prison, it's fine. And that was sort of thing, and that got me thinking about other weird things that have happened on planes or even just in public places.
Yeah, sure.
And it took me back to a story that happened a couple of weeks ago. Not to me, but it was all over the news. You probably saw it. Where 2 women tried to take a dead body onto a plane in Liverpool.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Well, I reread the story this afternoon, and it was brilliant. It was in Liverpool, which is a place I know very well, at the John Lennon Airport. And these 2 women tried to take a 91-year-old grandfather, I think it was.
At the time of death, he was 91.
Yeah.
Is that,
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. He'd been dead for 91 years, and they somehow got rumbled. Imagine it. It was just a sort of a skeleton, and they just tried to walk him up the aisle, and nobody would notice. But yeah, they tried to fit a body onto the thing, and they're trying to claim that he died on the way there, and they didn't notice because he was asleep and 91 and had Alzheimer's and things. Which, yeah, okay, I can sort of, to some extent, you can go, yeah, maybe, but at some point you've gone, oh, he's very cold.
Yeah. Oh, the decomposition's really beginning to
Getting
snap.
in and out of the taxi.
Yeah.
Hasn't woken him up in any way, shape or form. He hasn't made a noise, he hasn't grunted, he hasn't opened his eyes and gone, huh, what? Which you'd assume he would do.
How did they get him through customs?
Well, this is where they got stopped.
Right, all
They
right.
got stopped at the security thing where you have to walk through well, no, in fact, no, it was the check-in desk. Because he was just sitting there in sunglasses. Which, in Liverpool is a very ambitious
It's the
thing.
weekend at Bernie's, isn't
It is, yeah! And that's what made me think, that's the greatest film in the world ever made.
It is, yeah.
2 guys in the 80s trying to drag around the body and convince people he's alive.
Dead body getting hit in the balls.
Yeah, and it's just, it made me think that's mental. What other mental things have people done?
Yeah.
And I got a reply from Louise, who is a person I work with.
Why do you know all these people?
I know lots of people. I don't know necessarily.
I like the fact that I don't know them, so I just assume they're fans of mine.
Yes. Well, just everybody I know. Sorry, Howard. Louise, who.
Yes, Louise. I've signed many things for Louise.
Louise tells us last week her friend, in inverted commas, I'm assuming she's making this up and it was her, ran around a gay club in Edinburgh last week asking where all the gay people were. Which I just think is brilliant. And it's one of those things that's like, well, this is obviously a gay club. Where are all the gay people?
Because everyone's here looking
And
really
200 hands went, oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but apparently this friend did this while pogoing around the club.
Oh, brilliant.
Now that's mental in itself. I'm almost certain I've misunderstood pogoing and hoping it's not some sort of slang. I'm hoping it's what I think it is, which is jumping about.
No, it's way too. You put a spring on your penis.
That's all it is, right? See, I knew I'd get lost in there somewhere. But
Well,
yeah.
I'd get lost in you, sunshine. Especially with that spring.
Oh dear.
I'm bouncing right out.
There we go, and that's gauge up number 1. That's not too bad. We made it nearly half an hour before you
Did it
suggested that we were together.
Yeah.
Yes. But that made me think of other things that